This is SCTD. You are now listening to WDC Radio. Stay tuned for more information on LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Here he is cooking in the short season. The Giants win it 12-7. From their first season in the NHL. That is a world-class free kick from David Benton.
What's the count? What's the count? Welcome to WDC Radio. I'm your host. I am WDC, aka Farron Dozier. I'd like to thank you for tuning in this morning. I have a great show for you today. I got my co-host here. I got my mom's in the building, yo. My mom's is here. Gonna help me host the show. Stay tuned. I got Michael Keith coming up in the first half hour. I got some powerful guys and also as my special guest here that's gonna share some information. And just stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is my theme song, Curtis Blow, coming up, the first verse. It's on iTunes. Check it out.
Basketball is my favorite sport. You know I like the way the dribble up and down the court, fast and slow. 25 years ago to WDC, and it's me, your man Curtis Blow. From Dr. J to Michael Jordan to Kevin Durant, who leads the whole league in scoring. This is Wayne Wade down in Miami, making a name. I love this game. To the NBA Hall of Fame, slam dunks, alley-oops, and the give and go. Vince Carter, Superman, and my man Carmelo and Rondo over in Boston with the big three, captivating audiences across the country and ruling the world like LeBron the King. I say, man, Kobe sure has a lot of rings. That's my thing, not for the bling bling in the amount. It's the NBA Finals, so what's the count?
So once again, this is WDC Radio. I'm your host. I am WDC. I got a full show for you coming up today. First half hour, we're going to talk about lupus. That's right. I advocate for lupus as well. So we got a Michael Keith calling in, going to Skype in about lupus. And then we'll take it on to the second half hour after that. This is second verse, my man Young Ice.
So tell me what's the count? Had Jerry run a route and Montana throw it out. Atwater make him sober when the back try to bounce. So I'm flipping through the channels as the bulls where I'm out. Jordan over 40 enemies close mouth. So I'm ESPN and bury like a mouse. Scan through the rivals, playoff idol. He'll make all enemies suicidal. Similar to Marshall Falk, a quick bouncer. Scatting on the fast, all you hear is the announcer. Then competition, so the crowd scream louder. Then he realized Roger Craig is a founder. So he sits on the defender around her. As Kareem, my dude, Jabbar hooks I'm out. Magic with a pass, so the Lakers straight clowning. All I wanna know is homeboy, what's the count?
And over here next to me right here is my mom. She thinks she's not going to say nothing today, but she going to speak to y'all. She going to share with us. Right, Mom?
Right. I have no choice. Hello out there. Glad to be here today with my son. Glad to be home in Cali. What's up, LA? What's up, Cali?
Greatest upset in history, know that the sports fighter put me in the Olympics and guaranteed I'm the torchlighter. Provider of all the lyrics that are blowing scorch fire. I'm in the locker room, getting my hands taped. Thinking speed of a cheetah, the strength of a man ain't. I'm feeling bad what I'm about to do to this man face. But he the opponent, so I'm on the loss I can't take. Hands like Mayweather, swag like
I'm in the camera.
You think you way better, homie, than I see. And then I think they call me Hitman, Tommy Hearn. And y'all be biting like Tyson. I learn, and I don't gotta be flashy in front of the camera. All I do is show my warrior hard like Evander. Never been knocked out, but I've been knocked down. Long as I make it to the next round, what's the count?
So you know this is a community outreach show. I advocate for sickle cell trait and disease. I have the sickle cell trait myself, but also I want it to be a contribution to the community and also talk about other things that go on, just not sickle cell alone. So I advocate for bullying, mental health, my veteran community, lupus. You name it. I want to know what the community wants to talk about. So this is the platform that I've created, that God blessed me with, to be able to share my cause and have you come on and share your causes too. So this is WDC Radio. I'm your host. I am WDC. You can tune in to us on Live 365, iTunes under R&B, iTunes Radio under R&B. We're streaming live right now. If you want to go to Atlanta Talk Live, you can tune in to Atlanta Talk Live and Chicago Talk Live. We're streaming live right there, right now. So tune into those two stations. And we'll be right back. I just want to, again, thank you for tuning in and being a part of my community and allowing me to share with you about sickle cell. Sickle cell trait, A lot of athletes have been collapsing and dying from sickle cell trait exertion. The sickle cell trait is the trigger, and I'm just here to bring a greater awareness to that gene. I have it. I experienced what they call trait exertion myself. Collapsed after doing the 2-mile run with the Army, doing the physical fitness test. So I have some athletes here also that we're going to talk about what they're up to in the community as far as mentorship. And man, my man Chris over here, head coach now. So I got a whole great show for you. I got Michael Keith coming up next. I'm going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. And I got my mom's too. We'll be right back.
Hands can do incredible things. They made every sound in this piece of music. But nothing compares to using them to help save a life. If an adult suddenly collapses, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of their chest until help arrives. It's called hands-only CPR, and it's recommended by the American Heart Association. Visit handsonlycpr.org today. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back again. This is WDC Radio. I'm your host. I am WDC. I got a full conversation for you today. We're going to start off talking about lupus. That's right, lupus is another conversation in the community that affects African Americans, Caucasian, Hispanic, a lot of different races. This is a global issue as well, and it's not talked about. So I have a group of people that I'm working with. Shouts out to Matt Simpkins, Kimberly Dansby, Kimberly House, and also I have bringing on the line right now, Michael Keith from 112, the platinum R&B group. You guys know 112, Peaches and Cream. Well, I got him on the line. You're live at What's the Count? Keith, you live at What's the Count? You there?
Hello?
How you doing?
There we go.
How are you?
What's going on, good brother?
Man, I'm good. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you for asking.
Man, hey, I want to first thank you for coming on the show, man, and taking time out of your busy schedule and sharing about this cause that's very important to a lot of people in the world, and especially to you and your family. So I want to thank you for coming on and sharing with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It is such a great honor, man, to help spread this awareness as best as we possibly can.
All right, thank you. So I have I know you're out there doing your thing on tour, man. How's that coming?
The tour is going very well. We just finished Detroit for the show before Easter. It was us, Genuine, BBD, I'm sorry, and it was just simply amazing, man. Like the crowd in Detroit has always been very supportive of 112 and our music. So thank you, Detroit, the Opera House, for just allowing us to just to be us and just have sing our music, man, and just be on the stage and just be one with each other, man. It was just a great experience, and we always loved performing in Detroit. Always, never had a bad show in Detroit.
Oh, thank you, man. I saw you was on the news station out there, Channel 2. How was that?
I was. Sharon Blaze, actually, she reached out to me, and God bless her. She's such a kind, beautiful, spiritual person. In her and Mama, because Mama was out there with us as well.
Yeah.
She reached out to me via Twitter and expressed her want for me to come out and do some community service while I was in Detroit. And I'm always about trying to do as much community service as I possibly can, because the Bible says to whom much is given, much is required, and I've been given a lot, man. So in order for me to keep those blessings going, man, I have to give back as much as I possibly can, because it's just incumbent for people of in our situation, when you have a platform and you're able to reach out to the masses, to me it does the world a service when you are able to do for other people. And she reached out to me, and Sharon, like I said again, she's such a great spirit, and she worked it out to where I could go to Fox 2 along with my manager. Shout out to Melinda Santiago, the
For
S
sure.
firm. And we went and we just spoke about the autoimmune disease that is lupus and the lack of awareness that goes on.
Right.
And our job now is to just gain as much as awareness as we possibly can. So that's her, along with many other lupus warriors and myself, are just advocating as much as we possibly can in order to get this more into the forefront, because it's one of the more lesser known autoimmune diseases, and just one of the lesser known diseases that gets the funding and things of this nature. So as much as we possibly can, man, we gotta serve the people and get that awareness going.
So let the listeners know what is lupus.
Lupus is an autoimmune disease that affects any part of the body: the kidneys, the heart, the skin. It attacks your autoimmune system.
Right.
So the mystery behind lupus is that there's really no cure for it, and there's really no way to know like the symptoms, the causes of it. It's just one of those diseases, man, that just absolutely comes out of nowhere and hits like a hurricane, man. It's just one of those things that we really can't put a finger on just yet. It takes a long time to diagnose. It is treatable, and you can live a long life. You can live a long life and a long, full life. But we as a people need to make ourselves more aware, going to get ourselves tested, stop being reactive and being more proactive. Right. And that's one of the things, man, that I'm advocating for us, just as Black people anyway, especially Black men. Us, we got that machismo, and then, you're a soldier, my man. And first of all, let me say I appreciate everything that you and other soldiers have done for us, for our safety, and just to keep our country safe, man. It's not. Man. It's a great country, and we have our faults just like everybody else does, but this is the greatest country in the world. So help me God, and you guys do a service. Honestly, I've said this before, and this may be my next advocate move, man. I just want to make soldiers, teachers, and police officers and firemen the highest paid service employees of the country, man. If we can flip that to where doctors and lawyers. If we can flip that, man, and just make it to where the soldiers get more money, man, and just because of the service that they do, to sacrifice your life, man. Definitely, you know what I mean? That's something that I can't fathom, and no one that who's never served would ever understand it, man. So again, thank you so much.
No, man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Okay. Absolutely.
So I have a couple more questions. So how do you support your mom, around lupus?
Oh, okay. So let me give you a little background on that as well. So, for those that don't know, the reason why, because so many celebrities, quote unquote, we tend to latch on to whatever cause is the sexier cause, whatever it's gonna, and that's just being real, man. And I just, I never really felt that was right, because of the fact that, if you're gonna be in a cause, man, number one, you got to be in it for the long haul, right? And you should do it with the intent of doing it with a kind heart, not just because it's what's happening right now, or it looks good on your resume, or it'll ingratiate you to other people or whatever. You're doing it because you're doing God's work and you're serving. Definitely. You've been given a gift and you're trying to, give the gift back. So it's unfortunate that I'm advocating for lupus because of my mother, but it's also there's a silver lining in that, and that the fact that I'm able to reach out to masses and reach out to people that my mother would not be able to, exactly. Or a regular Joe Blow down the street who has lupus would not be able to reach out to. So this is my platform. This is where I'm able to do the best work. So my mother was diagnosed with lupus about 9, almost 10 years ago. Okay. And it took her about a year ago, so about 8 years, to tell me, that she had the disease. Wow. Because from what I understand, the greatest common denominator that many people with lupus have is that they feel alone and they feel as though they're doing it on their own. Exactly. So I had to reassure her and let her know that our family was here for her. Okay. Like, we're family, we're here. Definitely. And once she realized that, hey, I'm not doing this alone, and I'm not fighting this by myself, and that my family is here for me. She was able to speak more about it, and she's just the sweetest person in the world, kind-hearted person, and she's a registered nurse.
Oh,
So
wow.
she's all about giving, and she's all about serving the people as well. So I said, Ma, because I was not going to do it if I didn't receive her blessings to do something. So I said, Ma, you got to let me tell this story. You have a beautiful story. You have to let me tell it, because this will help us. And for those people that do feel like they're alone,
Exactly.
this will allow them to say, hey, you know what? If his mom can do it, I know that I can do it.
Exactly.
So she gave me a blessings and said, go out, do whatever it is that you got to do. Just get this awareness out as much as you possibly can.
Right.
And that's what I've been doing ever since, man. So that is my cause. I'm so passionate about this, because it is what I'm getting is that there are a lot of different organizations that are out there, and no one really knows where to go. With the lupus, it's the Lupus Foundation of America, yeah, but it's like there's a lack of unity going on in the community.
Definitely.
With lupus, and what my goal is, along with my man Matt for running for lupus.
Right. Shouts out to Matt.
Also, yeah, Matt. Big shout out to Matt and Kimberly Rose. These are people that I frequently reach out to as well, and we converse on many levels regarding how we can unify the different corporations and just create this one entity or one of two entities where we're juxtaposed and we're doing the things necessary to gain and garner more awareness for lupus and stuff. So that's my major goal right now, is to just unify and get that just get that unity together. Right. with regards to just advocating for lupus, and I believe once we start accomplishing that goal, it will be a lot easier for people to find more information about what the disease is, and we can move forward with that.
So
Matt,
I want to just re-emphasize what lupus is. Lupus is an autoimmune disease, for those who may not caught that. It's like the body attacking itself. So the body can't differentiate if it's a virus or bacteria, so it attacks its own organs, it attacks its own joints. Inflammation is a part of that. Michael, Keith, I've interviewed a few people, and a lot of them say that they've had like a traumatic experience that kind of triggered it, like something that happened that caused the body to go into that kind of state. So it's very important. It's a cause that's very important. My mom is here with me. She's from the.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, it's Michael, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I'm actually from Farmington Hills, Michigan.
Okay.
So I'm here visiting my son. Very interesting topic. I just wanted to chime in if I could.
Yes,
I don't know a lot about lupus in itself, but I do know the fact that you mentioned it being that autoimmune disease, and Farron also saying that how the body actually attacks itself, and you get all these symptoms from that. It's funny how most of the diseases that you see pretty much that are prevalent now are all have the same base of inflammation in the body. Isn't that interesting?
That is very interesting.
It's very interesting, and it's also very interesting how a lot of the diseases, quote unquote, that you see that are top charting now are stress related, stress induced.
Yes, exactly.
And that's not I just want to say is not a coincidence in any way. It being a coincidence, because we live in a world now that's so crazy. It's almost like you don't escape stress.
Yes,
I mean, you're going to do stress whether you want to do it or not. And a lot of times it's stress that's known stress, conscious stress, and then sometimes the unconscious stress. And it's very interesting how I saw also as well, just looking at a little bit of information about the lupus, how it attacks prevalently, mostly women. It's commonly found in women. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's commonly found in women of color, ages 15 to 44.
Very interesting, isn't that? So, I work in the medical field. I actually work with St. John Providence Hospital, and I work with specialty area as far as OBGYN. And the body, women's body, they're so complex. They're very complex, and so there's a lot of things that can spin off from stress. We know that. So I thought it was just very interesting how all of this has come about, far as that particular in terms of that disease lupus, and a whole lot of the diseases, where it being again the inflammation and the stress relation and all of this thing. We're just in a society now, fast moving, where we just really have to find a way to incorporate more God and less stress. How about that?
How about that? How about that? I will absolutely 100% agree with you. Nothing in that whole soliloquy that you just nothing was wrong. Nothing. Absolutely nothing was wrong. I totally agree with that. And you being of the medical field, you would understand more so. And my mother, like I said before, my mother being an RN, she knows more so than anything that stress, which is one of the more is so common in all of us, and it's a common denominator in all of us, especially in America, because we stress so much over, and it can go with this conversation can go so far deep into a whole nother realm of what we're stressing about. But the common denominator that we all share is that in some way, shape, form, or fashion, there is an enormous amount of stress that triggers, like you said, triggers these symptoms, because the body has a natural way of healing itself. But if there's an overabundance of stress that is put, I don't care if you're in a Mercedes Benz or a Phantom or a Bentley, whatever the case may be, if you keep pressing the gas on that engine, eventually it's gonna break down.
That's it.
And then that's the same thing that goes for us. We were created in the image of God, which was, in my opinion, one of the greatest gifts that was ever given to mankind. But even we have our limitations when it comes to the body and its ability or inability to fight off stress-related incidences, and that is like you said, that is the common denominator that in the correlation with all of that. That is not a coincidence at all. No. I absolutely agree with that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Definitely, and just want to add this very same thing. I try to always, even myself, trying to keep it on a norm and keeping it balanced. Refer back to scriptures in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Where God spoke about the diseases that would come upon the earth. They come conditionally. They come due to sin. They come to a whole lot of things we understand. Yes. But at the same time, he said, though, that if we did a specific thing, that was what? Obey his commandment, that these diseases would not come upon us. But because we are humans, and because we live and engage in this environment, it takes a whole nother level of consciousness in him to be able to withstand the drama.
Exactly.
That's right.
Human functions.
Amen.
The human functions are powerful, man. If you can align that spirit, man, and that soul and that body, man, it's unstoppable.
It's unstoppable. And I will go even further in saying that a lot of the things that we do to our bodies, that we can control, i.e. eating these processed foods and just consuming all of these sugary substances in our bodies and not getting proper rest and just stressing about, in our relationships, our love relationships, we must find a way to balance all this, because we're out of whack, where our bodies are out of sync.
Definitely.
Because we're more so on the stress side than finding that balance between, because there's going to be a yin and yang. It's going to be stressful times, and there has to be a peace within you as well. You can't be stressed all the time. There has to be a moment where you find that peace, and be it in religion, be it in family, be it in whatever it is, that whatever your vice is that allows you to find that inner peace. You have to find that. And a lot of people, they look at, when we speak about that, they're being flighty, they're being yuppie and all the back in the 60s with the what was the guy, the hippies and all that frame of mind, where they were about elevation of oneself, elevation of one's mind and spirit and body.
But I can tell you, I experienced
a correlation.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mom.
I can tell you about that hippie thing.
that was the time frame. That was the time frame.
Man, that was my open door. What it said, if you don't open the door, I'm not going in. But I can tell you about that, because growing up in LA, we did in that era. It wasn't the 60s for me. It was basically the 70s and mid 70s. But at the same time, people, they criticized that time where people they said most of them was on drugs or whatever. But I could tell you what they were reaching for was that utopia in that mindset, to where it kept them in a mode where, hey, we're not going to let the world stress us out, be it if I got to do chemicals or whatever. But the whole objective is not to have to do the chemical, but reach that plateau, just knowing who you are and created in God's image, that whole mindset, which was real. Still, there was some positivity in all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because it was anti-establishment. We don't want to get involved with the drama of the world. Let's create our own.
Right.
So, there you go. Power to the people. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
you get it from the source.
Michael. So I want to talk about the L hand sign and the campaign and the project that we've collaborated with and joining forces with the lupus community. I got Kimberly Dansby on the line actually. Oh, she hung up. Well, she'll call back. Talk to us about the L hand sign, man. How did you inspired by that?
It's a funny story, man. What happened was, me and my naivete, I assumed that when I saw the L sign officially, I thought that was the national iconic symbol for lupus, because because like a lot of people, nobody really knew initially what lupus was,
right.
and a lot of people that I speak to now, initially they don't know what lupus is, so let alone go get tested for it. So I was doing my research and just going online, and I'm seeing a lot of these L signs, and I'm seeing a lot of people putting up these L signs and stuff, man. And I said, man, you know what? That is an awesome mechanism that we can use to garner. I said, whoever put that together, man, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
And come find out, through speaking and conversing with Matt from Running with Lupus on Twitter.com. Check him out as well.
Yes.
He explained to me that no, that was not the case, and it was basically not sure if it was his brainchild, but I got the idea from him.
Yeah.
That this was, so I'm claiming it. I'm saying, Matt. Matt, you know what? If you didn't do it, now you did. So,
yeah. He did that.
There it is, Matt. Man, I'm so proud because I've seen it, and it. We're all about symbols in life, and from the Christians being the cross, and right. It's all sort of things that once they have this iconic symbol, not comparing the L sign to the cross at all,
right.
But giving you a basis of once you see something that feels good to you, or something that has purpose and it has meaning, then it resonates inside your being.
Yes.
And once I saw the L sign in correlation to lupus, I said, man, that is exactly what we need. So me, like I said before, me and all my naivete, I thought that's what it was.
Yeah.
And having conversations with Matt and realized that it wasn't. I said, you know what? What we're going to do is we're going to make this the national and international and just worldwide symbol for
right.
lupus. That's our goal. So what I did, I wanted to piggyback on further. Y'all can see me, right?
No, we can't see you. Unfortunately.
Okay,
no,
cool.
unfortunately.
I thought you. But what I did is I, along with my team and the S firm, again, shout out to Melinda Santiago. What we did was we got with our team and my guy Kevin. He's on the team as well, and he came up with this symbol from us having a brain trust and just coming up with this idea of what can we use to make this L sign even more prevalent as far as we're concerned. And we came up with this logo, and it's in correlation to my column that I write for vibe.com. Y'all can check that out as well. It's called right. I'm Just Saying. And I'm Just Saying basically is a column that I speak on love and relationships, and give it just a male point of view about love, relationships, how to do this, how to do that, and as far as like knowing the male psyche, understanding what a woman really is saying. In my point of view, in no way, shape, or form or fashion am I an expert. I'm just giving off of information of years of being an R&B artist and dealing with a lot of women. So
definitely,
I feel it's only fair that I give this knowledge out as well. So it's on vibe.com as well. But the correlation is I'm Just Saying is the parent company, and we have, and I'm Just Saying, a Lupus Edition T-shirt.
Right.
It's an all white T-shirt. It has the logo of the L sign and my icon. It's the emoticon smiling with the L sign, and we have been getting such a great response and feedback from people, lupus warriors, who want to see more of this icon being around, being more spread, being more widespread. So it was once again Matt and his brilliance we're coming up with the L signs. I'm just taking it a step further.
Well, I got Kimberly Dansby on the line, who is a part of that team. She wants to speak to you as well. So maybe we're going to line real quick.
Okay, cool.
Kimberly, you live? What's the count?
Hey, how are you guys?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm
Hey,
good.
Kimberly.
Hi, Michael.
How are you?
I'm good. I feel like I know you already just from Twitter.
It's like we can folk already.
I know, right? Exactly. No,
Exactly.
definitely just, I tell you all the time, but, thank you so much just for everything you're doing, because it's like, it's definitely taking lupus awareness to a whole nother level, and it's something that I know Matt was pushing for before I got on the team, and then once I came along with Purple Rose, it's like, it's been really awesome to have, your support, just to see, like, where you're taking it. I'm like, man, every city he goes to, people are throwing up the L's. That's awesome.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Because earlier I said, not sure if you were listening, but with the ability that I have, being in a multi-platinum Grammy Award winning R&B group, that is a lot of platforms for us to get out and give a message, whatever your message is. And my guys, the great group of guys that they gave me the blessing, man. Look, whatever you need to do, this is for your mama. We gotta, whatever you need to do in order to get that awareness and gain that and garner that awareness. And they allow me to speak on it and, during our performances where we're best received. And I get out there and just let them know, like, hey, lupus is here. It is something that can, and I believe will be cured. And that's in my heart of hearts. I scientifically, no, I do not have any information to the fact. However, I'm a firm believer in faith. I'm a firm believer in God. And I do believe that he has a cure and he has the answer. And it's just a matter of us showing him that we are dedicated enough to go out and receive those blessings through his will. If we go out and we gain as much support and just do what is humanely incumbent upon us as just people, so I'm just trying to do God's will. So Kimberly, like she said, it seems like we know each other because we've been reaching out via Instagram and Twitter and things of this nature. And every city that I go to, like she said, we go out and I try my best to get everyone to throw that L sign up, because it is my goal now, because I spoke to Matt and once he told me that it's not the official symbol and official logo for us getting that out for lupus, I said, man, you just sparked something in me, because to me that's basically throwing out the gauntlet and saying, oh yes, it will be. If I got anything to say about it, man, it's good. If I got anything to say about it, it's going to be.
Well, Michael, so I want to invite you back, man. I got another half of the show. I'm gonna have you come back and do another show, man, because I have other guests here. But I want to thank you for coming on, man, and talking about lupus, man, and sharing with us. We have a special project. Kimberly, can you announce the project for us?
Yeah, well, I'm sure you've seen me talking about it on Twitter, but we did a lupus awareness song, and I kind of talked to Melinda about it. I need to actually send it to you guys so you can kind of hear it and see, if you're vibing with it or whatever. But we're trying to, when we do the flash mob, once we release that video, we're going to have the song playing over it. So, I think between what you're doing in Atlanta and everywhere else and what me and Matt are doing over here, it's like this is definitely about to be, like, this year's about to be crazy for lupus awareness. I'm so excited.
Sure.
Yes, it is. I'm so excited, and it's song. I gotta hear it. You gotta send it to me as soon as you possibly can. Okay. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Lupus awareness is there. We are here. We ain't going nowhere. We are going to get lupus in the forefront, and we will find the cure. Thank y'all so much.
It's here. Hey, thank you.
Amen. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Kimberly, for calling in. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, again, this is WC Movement. What's the Count Radio? Hey, we lupus awareness, definitely important. You can tune in. Watch us on iTunes Radio, R&B section. Tune in, AOL Radio. Next up, the second half of the show coming up. I got my guys here, Chris and Philip. Gonna talk about some mentorship and some sports. So stay tuned. Told you my mom was gonna talk.
Bye.
Told you she was gonna talk.
Oh, I can talk now.
We'll be right back. Thank you.
Hi, this is Susie Pruden. And yes, you've seen me on Oprah, Good Morning America, and The Today Show. And I'm inviting you to join me every Monday from 3 to 4 for my new show, Mastermind Live. Join us as we introduce you to the new thought leaders of the world who will inspire you, support you, and guide you to your next level. So don't forget to tune into Mastermind Live exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Susan Levin, owner and founder of Speaker Services, inviting you to join me and co-host Jean Noel Bassiar on Monday evenings, 5 p.m. Pacific, for our new show, Talk Up Your Business, Speak Your Way to More Profits. We'll be talking to you about how to use your expertise to grow your business or service through speaking. Our expert speakers and author guests will share their stories and success secrets with you. Don't forget to tune in to Talk Up Your Business Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Yeah, it's your boy DJ Deezy, inviting you to join me every Monday night at 8 p.m. for our new show, Keeping It Real with the Cousins, exclusively on LA Talk Live, Monday nights at 8. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio or watch us on Ustream TV Monday nights at 8. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hands can do incredible things. They made every sound in this piece of music. But nothing compares to using them to help save a life. If an adult suddenly collapses, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of their chest until help arrives. It's called hands-only CPR, and it's recommended by the American Heart Association. Visit handsonlycpr.org today. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Classic.
Welcome back. This is WDC Radio. I'm your host. I am WDC. I got my mom's on the end right here now.
Mom in the house. Hello, it's Callie.
I got my second half of my guests here, Chris and Philip. They're here to talk to you about some athletics, some announcements, some sports. Got the basketball What's the Count jersey on, so we're gonna have a conversation about some sports. Chris, please introduce yourself to our listeners, man.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Acker. I'm the new head coach at West LA College, also representing Ackright Premier Sports, that helped me to get in the position I am right now. So,
and Philip.
How you guys doing? My name is Philip Scott, also representing West LA College, and also in Ackright Premier Sports.
Now, I met these powerful gentlemen a few months ago at the park for a meeting, and when I walked in the gym, man, I saw all these kids, students from all ages, all walks of life. What inspired you to do that, man?
Well, I think one of the major things was, just the influence that we had. We started off working for organizations in the past, and the bulk of those organizations concentrate on solely earning revenue. Yeah. And you get a bunch of kids in the gym, you let them run around a little bit, and then at the end of the day, everybody gets a check, and then that's the sole purpose of that organization. Right. For us, it was always a little bit more deeper than that. We wanted to actually help kids get an understanding of what's to come. You know what I mean? That high school is coming, whether you're ready or not. So we wanted to introduce you to that. Right. And then for high school guys, college is coming, whether you're ready or not. And for college guys, the professional ranks is coming, whether you're ready or not. So regardless of how much revenue was coming in, the sole portion of what we were doing was based on educating kids, educating parents on getting them to understand what the world is actually like once you get to that level that it's a meat market.
Right.
And coaches are going to take the best players. So you got to train, you got to develop, you got to be focused. And if you do that, you give yourself a great opportunity.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was basically.
How about you? What got you into sports?
My dad, me and my younger brother Alex, we grew up. He was fortunate enough to play in the NBA. He got drafted in 2005 by the Pistons, and but my dad did a great job of raising us. Yeah. And we grew up very, very poor, not a lot of money, not a lot of income. Listening, watching my parents fight a lot over finances. My dad never wanted us to have that kind of lifestyle. Right. Me and Philip grew up kind of in the same neighborhood, in the same situation. So, basically going through it and being around a lot of competitive people all the time, it just drove me to want to be great at something. Right. You know what I mean? And you never can determine, which direction you go. I mean, ultimately, God holds that.
We all got a purpose.
But we got a purpose. You know what I mean? I wanted to play professional basketball. I wanted to play in the NBA, but then you got guys like Derrick Rose who take off from half court. So
no, you played.
I played a little bit professionally. I played in college at Chaminade University. Shout out to Chaminade.
Yeah.
And I played at a community college, and I went through the rigors of playing college basketball and a little bit of playing professionally, but when I was able to see my brother play at the highest level professionally, that's when the realization came in. I had my son Malachi, and got married to my beautiful wife Jennifer, and I realized that there was another direction that I needed to head in.
Which is important.
There's a lot of guys at LA Fitness now still trying to make basketball a career. I didn't want to be one of those guys.
Did you see basketball as an outlet? Like for me, I use it as a stress relief. Like being in the military since I was 19, like I could go in the gym and leave all my problems on the court. Do you see that in yourself and the kids?
Absolutely. I mean, kids are bogged down by all the expectations that their parents put on them. Education, expectations. There's just a lot of expectations out there. And sports in general, whether it's basketball, I mean, our organization does basketball, football, soccer. We got great trainers involved with what we do. But the premise behind it all is just to give kids an escape, you know what I mean, away from the rigors. I think that's the beautiful thing about what we created down at Apollo Park in Downey, California. Yeah. I think that's one of the greatest things we created over there is an environment where we give every kid, regardless of skill level, regardless of ability, the opportunity to play on a competitive team, and give a chance for them to actually develop, you know what I mean, and go through the skill. Obviously we don't have the top players in the nation on our team, but we got kids that start from the bottom and really have never been trained before. And we help them, we encourage them. Sometimes we have to get in on them a little bit to help them find that competitive nature that we all have. It just has to be found. We help them get to that point. But ultimately, they get there, and they get there at their own pace, and we understand that every kid is different. You know what I mean? Every person, just like, everybody in this room, we have different ways that we need to be communicated to in order for us to reach our ultimate goal. But if we help them understand what it is that they can bring to the table to a high school team, you don't have to be able to make three-pointers or be able to dribble really well. If you can communicate, if you can be a great teammate, you know what I mean? If you can,
it's all levels.
Yeah, at all levels. Yeah, you can find a way to make a roster. You know what I mean? And that's what we try to encourage.
How is it being a coach, man? Like you get to push people to the next level of their human function. Like that guy that just says, you know what, coach, I can't do it. Yeah. Like no, like how do you motivate that? Where do you get that energy from?
I get it from the fact that when I play basketball, I had coaches that got on me for all the wrong reasons, and not understanding myself that there was a way that I needed to be driven. Yeah. You know what I mean? Being coached by my dad, there was times that I thought he should have coached me in a different way. You know what I mean? And just understanding that each kid really wants to do the best that they possibly can. Right. But you just have to find a way to communicate that with them, whether it be accountability, whether it be just encouragement. Exactly. You know what I mean? Whether it just be support. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't have to say anything, but that kid will run through a wall for you just for the fact that they love the game of basketball and they want to be great at it. Other kids
you just got to show up at the park, watch them just be in the audience, just be in the stands.
Exactly.
Just be in the stands.
That's what it comes down to.
I remember my mom, they would come. I played baseball, and oh my God.
I I didn't want to interject that story.
Yeah,
That was hilarious.
It was horrible. Like I batted 1,000 because my first hit got like a double or something.
Okay,
After that, it was over. Right. But they came every game.
That's what it comes.
And not to mention the football one. Actually, when they threw a pass to him, he ran the other way. He thought it was dodgeball, but we were there.
Right. Absolutely, that's what it's about.
But that's what it takes,
Yeah.
I hope the families, parents can see that. And you, like I said, you bring that out in those students, and they can take that home, and share that with their family, the family members.
Right.
Very important.
Absolutely. My brother, actually, Alex, who's listening right now.
Hey!
Shout out to Alex out there in France right now.
Is he in France now?
Yeah, he's in France right now. So he's a strong supporter of our organization. I mean, Alex does a great job when he gets home of involving himself with the community and with the kids. And he's a great example of what hard work and dedication is about. He's working his way to get back into the NBA, but he sacrificed a lot to be where he is today. And he trains with our organization, and the kids get to watch him work out and see what he does on a daily basis.
Man,
and that's huge for us. What I mean? The support that he puts in Akron Premier Sports is huge.
The contribution to the community.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got those students out of the streets, in the gym.
Absolutely.
Basketball, soccer, baseball
and football.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is we're not talking about, it's just not African American kids.
That's what I saw.
It's not just Caucasian kids. These are Hispanic. We got a lot of support from the Hispanic community.
Yeah.
Who are seeing their kids turn a curve that I don't think has ever been seen done in the community. And Philip here is huge in that because he's been doing the bulk of the training.
Come on, man. Get on the mic, man. Get on the mic, man. What is that? How's that for you? How's that?
It's amazing, we're
to see
changing
that.
lives. We're taking kids from, never playing to actually being able to compete against kids that are getting the scholarships and stuff. So the parents are behind us 100%. The city of Downey, Kevin Ellis, shout out to Kevin Ellis. He's been doing an unbelievable job with letting us come in there and taking our vision and really taking it to another level. But I mean, again, what Chris was saying, Akron Premier Sports is a 501c3 now, so we're being able to take the bigger steps now.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And it's been life changing. And we have a lot of friends who play at the next level professionally who help out. Rob Turner, he's in Arizona. He does a lot. Will Kimball, he's a coach at Cathedral Prep School. He helps out a lot. There's a lot of guys.
Shout out to Cathedral. Compton Magic.
A-Tope, he's doing an unbelievable job right now in Southern California, getting these kids out to the next level and getting Division I's out to Southern California, making California bigger and better.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we're just, doing what we can to be successful. You know what I mean?
Now I wonder how I relate my community outreach show to my community sickle cell trait and disease. Like you have all these different students come in, like health-wise, like background-wise. Have you ever experienced, a student with an exertion injury or
the unique thing about it is sometimes you just don't know what kids are going through.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And you wonder sometimes as coaches you get so caught up in winning, losing, you get so caught up in those things that you wonder why, kids miss practice or why can't that kid run harder? Right. Why did that kid pass out on the field? I mean, not too long ago, I coached at Citrus College for the last 6 years. I was an assistant coach there, and I want to say last summer, we had kids running a mile, and one of our players passed out. You know what I mean? Right there on the track.
Yeah.
And it was a serious situation, and he got up from it. I don't think he's ever been checked out about the situation, but you just look past those things and don't really try to associate what the actual cause of things are.
Right.
And I think people need to become more educated, especially African American people, about what they're doing with their bodies and what they're consuming and what they're putting inside of their bodies. And I heard the show earlier, we were talking about stress and stress related activity. I mean, sports in general can be stress related.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm stepping into a whole nother field as a head coach. You know what I mean?
Coach.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
for
man.
real. Congratulations.
And we're looking for players, by the way. So if you can play out
hey,
there,
can I come on retirement?
You can come out. You got eligibility.
Hey, I got my GI Bill, man. I might be. Hey, you never know. I might be back in school, man.
We got to get you. West LA Wildcats. We are looking for players right now. But yeah, you just never know.
Exactly.
And let me interject as a parent too. We have to pay attention to things too in our children.
Absolutely.
Everything you just don't cast away like, oh, it's nothing or it's a virus or whatever. Because even with Farron, when he was younger, 7, 8 years old, he used to complain of his joints, and I would take him to the pediatrician, and they would say it was growing pains.
Yeah.
Honestly, they would say it was growing pains,
Right.
and so okay, well, he's growing, but again, we found out later when he was an adult, 2006, maybe it was not just growing pains
Right.
because this thing came upon him, and nobody knew,
Yeah.
and then bam, he's here living to be able to talk about it. But statistically, most people who get to the point of exertion that he got to are now no longer here.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was just God,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
his purpose and destiny to actually be an advocate for the things that he's doing now, because he's not statistically supposed to even be here speaking with us now.
Absolutely.
So you understand? So I just want to say to the moms, whatever, just go the extra mile and just get your kids tested for some things, even if they're, are not showing signs right now.
Absolutely.
Just go to the doctor and give them a simple blood test. I just want to, see if this is in my bloodline. You know what I'm saying? And that would really help a lot. A lot of preventative things going on there.
Absolutely.
And by you being in that community, the Hispanic community is number 2 with sickle cell trait.
Wow.
So they carry that gene as well.
Wow.
And I know I saw some Asian kids there.
Yeah.
Well, thalassemia and also sickle cell as well is in that community too also. So I have friends who have thalassemia who also have the kind of exertion kind of passing out. So it really
It's very serious.
It's serious. And if they don't know what genes they carry, they could push themselves. They maybe can't run that extra, sprint.
Right.
They may have to take a break.
Right.
But because they want to make the team, they want to be a part of that organization
Right.
in that crowd. They'll risk. It's like taking that risk.
Right.
But at least be informed.
Yeah, be informed.
Of your risk.
Personally, I remember, growing up, I had issues with headaches a lot. You know what I mean? I used to, every day I would get massive headaches, and I didn't find out till I got into my 20s that I was extremely hypoglycemic. You know what I mean? That I needed to eat a lot more. I needed to do things more intelligently, and you just don't know. You know what I mean? And then it came down. I had to talk to my dad like, I got to put more food in the house. You know what I mean? That's what it came down to. There wasn't no food in the house. I'm like, man, we going to my grandma's house for Christmas, but by the time we get there at 3, I ain't ate nothing. That's why I got headaches when I was younger. But yeah, you just never know.
But
you know what I mean? You
so
just never know.
I wanted to just let the community know that those other races,
Absolutely.
it's a global issue, and it's right in our own in our community.
Absolutely.
As far as the Hispanics and the Caucasian, the Asian, it's
very serious.
All races affected,
Very
and it could be sickle cell trait, it could be thalassemia, G6PD.
Right.
There's a hemoglobin C. There's like 7,000 different red blood cell disorders that affects.
Yeah.
That's the oxygen that's going through the body.
Yep.
Right.
So any exertion, any overheating, could trigger, something like that. So
Cost your
I'm
life.
sure you,
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
So again, thank you, man, for coming
Yeah,
on the
absolutely,
show.
man.
So
Thanks
what's
for
up with the
having me.
coaching, man?
Oh, the coaching thing is amazing, man. It is. I mean, you talk about the blessings that God give you. I mean, literally, I was sitting in the office with the coach that I was coaching under for the last 3 years, and the AD at West LA, Steve Eggers, called him out of the blue to ask permission to speak to me.
Wow.
And I had never spoken to him before in my life, had no idea who he was, had never heard of him. And the support he showed me initially right off the bat, and to choose me as a person that can represent Los Angeles for a community college. And the community college thing, just to say this real quick because I know we got to get off, but the community college thing is a lot of guys don't understand the beauty behind community college. It's an opportunity for kids, and it doesn't necessarily have to be kids that suffer academically.
Right.
You know what I mean? It can just be, and especially for us who are trainers, first and foremost, it can be for kids who just need a little bit more push, a little bit more development. So it's an unbelievable route. So the fact that we get to touch the lives of young people in general is what God intended it for us to do anyway.
Right.
Me being a fairly young head coach myself, stepping into this realm of coaching, all we strive to do is just help and be there for others. And when you do that and you approach everything that way, I think God opens doors. You know what I mean? I think that's what he's doing, and it's our job to be a voice for him, and speak through our work and our craft as mentors and as people that can help and change and develop young men. And that's what I've been doing for the last 6 years. And
Yeah.
guys have been moving on to 4-year universities, and that's our sole purpose right now. So we're excited about West LA and the whole project.
There's I call them agreements in the world. There's some agreements in the world that community college is a lower level than going to the university. And like you said, it's not even about the academic
No,
level. It's
not
about
always.
who you can become to get to the next
Right.
level. It's just another avenue,
Absolutely.
another route. So
Absolutely.
it's not a bad thing that you go to a community college to play basketball.
No, it's not a bad
because
thing.
you can step up
Yeah.
to the next level.
And parents need to understand too, the community college won't be on your son's 4-year degree. You know what I mean?
They ain't gonna say Southwest Colorado, right?
It won't say West LA College on his bachelor degree. You know what I mean? It's just a stepping stone to help them get to the next level. So
That's it.
absolutely.
And I wanted to bring you on the show too because I have a lot of my sickle cell community, like because of that disease, a lot of them want to mentor, they want to help, they want to give back.
Right.
And so I wanted them to just hear how you do that as a contribution that's possible.
Absolutely, it's definitely possible. We would be excited about, especially our organization, the nonprofit organization, is all about partnerships and all about just being in the community. We support organizations that are there for their cause, that are there for their people. And you can read right through organizations that aren't real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we don't make a ton of money doing this at all by any means. We're not in it for the money, but at the end of the day, what it comes down to is the kids that leave on. We have great relationships with kids that are in college that are playing professionally. We've been coaching, for a very long time, and for us, relationships are everything. You know what I mean? And that's
lives you
and
touch.
yeah,
Man.
and I think that's
You
what
too,
we're
Phillip,
intended
man.
to
The
do.
lives you guys touch, man.
It's huge.
There's no price for that.
No, there's no
You
price
can't
for
pay
it.
for that.
There's no
You can't.
price for it.
You can't.
You know
Those
what I mean?
kids will never forget you.
Yeah.
Especially in that city.
It's amazing. I got kids texting me. They've been texting me all day.
Right.
They're in
Amazing.
France. I got some other kids in Germany, and these are kids that were from LA that literally, lived in the jungles in LA.
Yeah.
Grew up in gang-related neighborhoods. And kids there's one kid, he's about 5'6", and he's playing in Germany right now. This is a kid that 6 years ago would have never even imagined playing in another, or even leaving the jungle.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just through hard work and dedication, he was able to get out. And so, Steve-O, shout out to you if you're listening. But it's just an exciting thing that we're doing. And sometimes we get caught up in trying to make things happen and trying to make things move that you miss the journey.
Right.
And, we just starting to learn how to appreciate the journey a lot more.
Well, I want to thank you, man, for coming here. You too, Phillip, man.
Really appreciate
you
having
coming
me.
out.
Appreciate
You got to
you
come
having
back, man.
Absolutely.
You got to come
We
back
will.
with some more
Anytime
time,
you need
man.
it.
Bring some students with you.
Hey, I want to bring some players out.
Bring some players
As soon
out
as we
here
get
for
some,
sure.
we'll bring some out.
Bring it, and I'm gonna fill out the app, man.
All right.
I'm telling you,
We'll get it
I might
done.
have to shoot my three, man.
We'll
I
get
might
it
come
done.
Check you out.
We need some shooters. for
Before we
sure.
get off, let me give some prayers out to Kevin Ware and his family after that injury he had this past weekend.
Yeah, at Louisville.
At Louisville, man, that was a scary,
broke his leg.
Scary situation, man. You don't wish that on anybody. And this sport is very, very competitive.
Definitely.
And you're going so hard that sometimes things like that happen. But
Thank you. Yeah.
Definitely
prayers for
out
him
there.
and his family.
Prayers up
Absolutely.
for his family. Thank you.
All
All right, Mom.
All
You
right,
got
guys.
anything, Mom? You got?
No, this was fun.
Mom, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure watching you go today.
Oh my God.
Shout out to
Go hard in the
Talk
paint,
Live.
huh?
Shout out to Mom. Shout out to
Mom.
LA Talk Live.
This is WDC Radio, LA Talk Live. I appreciate you for tuning in and listening in. Mom, thank you for coming out. I know it's like pulling teeth, but thank you for coming out, Mom.
Not
being a
really.
part.
It was
all right.
not.
She was like
not.
Destiny Child. She was like, no.
Hey, she got it done. She
I
did
know,
a great
I
job.
Got it done. Might come
Unbelievable.
back another Monday. Who knows?
So again, Ness, thanks for running the show for me
Shout out
back
to
there
Ness.
in the background. Again, so next Monday we'll be back. I got more shows for you, more community outreach. I want to thank you for listening and tuning in. LA Talk Live, WC Radio, my Twitter at IamWDC. You can text the word trait to 41242 to join the movement. It's WDC the movement. We do sickle cell trait awareness, prevention, lupus, bullying, mental health advocacy, all kind of stuff, community outreach. Again, Chris, Phillip, thanks.
Appreciate you having us.
Appreciate you guys having us.
All right, thank you. All right, next Monday, 11 o'clock a.m., 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be back. WDC Radio, iTunes Radio, under R&B section. Tune in, Live 365, YouTube, LA Talk Live. Shouts out to you. Thank you.
All that.
All that.
Need to know where we stand. Do we share the special thing called love?
to. Money, I'ma front you. Girl, I wanna flaunt you. Right. I'ma always want you when nobody wants you. If I die now, my love will still haunt you. Mace ain't the one that'll pay for your phone. Mace be the one that'll take you home. Even though I'm not the one that gave you the stones. On your days alone, I can make you moan. Everybody know I got more bounce than the ounce. Bad boy, get more money than you can count. Why I'm buying things you can't even pronounce. I do it to you, cat, for a large amount. And when the beef come, you know where to be found. Why I be around till the winner is announced? Here you go, girl, with thousands in your palm. Why you can't let bygones be bygones? Where do I go?
Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. You're tuned in to LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk.